Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Domino's Diecast, and I thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be featuring a car from my collection that is not entirely owned by me, although I did purchase it. That's right. This car is actually a gift that I purchased for Maya, and he still loves it to this day. He was always a very big fan of this particular car, and I found one for him for his birthday some years ago. This is the 1971 Buick Riviera boattail. Now this car was very iconic for its time. As you can tell, it's extremely stylish, and it's long. It barely fits in the frame. Very beautiful car. It is not removed off of the support base, so we're just going to have to leave that on for now. This is a car that I also adore, because I adore Buicks, of course, but the sheer design of the Riviera is just so eye-catching and memorable. I mean, look how sleek this car is. It looks like something that Batman would drive. And honestly, he should have. And here is the very famous boattail design, as you can see. So unique. Just the way those angles come down like that, it's just so space age kind of. And this is the early 70s. We're coming out of the space age soon, but we're still kind of in it. The late mid-century. Cars around this time were using very little chrome and no more tail fins, not in the 70s. Tail fins were done by the 60s, unfortunately. I'm a very big fan of cars with tail fins, but in the 70s, every car favored more of a boxy design and pointy front ends, as you can see here. Very pointy front end. I love the way that front end is designed here. It actually is very much in style with the rest of the car. As you can see, it kind of has a balance in that way of its style. I love these tires, the hubcaps, the tire designs. I really love the way that looks. Now these are technically white wall tires, as you can see. At least they have a white strip. Not completely white wall, but at least a white strip. This does feature opening parts. We can open the doors and the hood, but we cannot open the trunk. The trunk is permanently shut. It was not an open part feature, so we will open the hood. So you can take a look at the very powerful engine bay here. These were fast cars of their time. Very nicely designed. The Riviera is a highly regarded model in Buick's history, even still today among collectors. Get a shot of the interior there. Very well detailed. Does not feature folding seats, however. But I can still show you the rear passenger seat. It's a car that just looks not only stylish, but just fast. It just really eye-catching. Does not look like any other car down the street. It almost looks like it was a prototype vehicle a little bit, doesn't it? Although it really was a mass-produced road vehicle. Buick Rivieras were made up until the late 90s, I believe. I don't think they make the Riviera model anymore. I think around the last one was close to 99. So after the new millennium, they really didn't make the Riviera anymore. They always reminded me a little tiny bit of an Oldsmobile Toronado as well. Similarly designed. And considering Buick is owned by GM as well as Oldsmobile was, it's quite obvious that they could share some styles in their cars. We were still during a time, when this car was made, we were still during a time when every car was still unique to their own design and their own look, and you could tell what things were driving down the street. Most cars today, they just all kind of blend together. It's really quite sad, Now this would have been a vinyl top right here. This is a hard top vehicle, however, but this would have been the vinyl top, as you can see, or maybe even a matte top. Just love the way that rear window is shaped. It's really very beautifully shaped and designed. Definitely this car would be very aerodynamic driving down the road. The wind would just soar right up over it. It definitely works well with speed. And I'm very pleased that Maya still enjoys it to this day. Maya absolutely loves cars from the 70s, particularly rare vehicles like this one. He loves 70s sports cars. This would kind of be considered a sporty car. Not quite a sport car, but definitely of a sporty design, for sure. Some people may argue that, but I don't think it was more like a sport coupe, as they would call it. And of course these taillights. Love the way they're designed. And then the Riviera R symbol right there, which they used on all Riviera models since the dawn of its creation. This is not the first Riviera model that Buick ever put out. The first one was in the late 60s, so... Well, no, even earlier than that, actually. The Rivieras were around in the 50s, even. They had a few in the early 50s. But they took on more of this sleek shaped design starting in the 60s, the late 60s, and it was popular throughout the 70s decade. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode of showing off the 71 Buick Riviera, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.